Today's post is on what happened January 15th, 1898. Lynched George Meadows. Okay. You know, sometimes I wear this t-shirt up under my clothes because I never know when I have to make a point. But after all, it is a t-shirt. That's what you do. Wear them up under your clothes. Okay, now let's see what they have to say about George Meadows. All right. Okay, this is from the Wikipedia. Okay, it says George Meadows was an African-American man who was lynched on January 15, 1889 in Jefferson County, Alabama, United States. Okay, now this is an unjustified death. You can always tell an unjustified death, obviously, by the word lynch, which means to put a person to death by mob action without legal authority or due process. And being lynched is not only limited to being hung, it can also be by torture, burning, or shooting someone, like they did Roosevelt Towns and Robert McDaniels. So that's lynching. But people are good at words, like the mob. Who is the mob? By definition, a mob is a large, disorderly, and often violent crowd of people. And mind you, they are American citizens. Okay, now, a few people in the mob incite the lynching. The many follow the mob, the many follow the few to the lynching because they appeal to their emotions. That's how they got there. For instance, now, look what they say. On January 14, 1889, J.S. Kelman, a white woman, and her 9-year-old son were attacked by a black man in a nearby forest. Cam was beaten and raped, but survived after playing dead. Her son was forced to lie down next to her and then beaten to death. Okay, now, this is a Wikipedia saying this, but I'm quite sure the few said something of that nature to get the many to follow them through a lynching. And the cold thing about the whole situation, we are like the many now. We are like the many. That's right, I said it. We are like the many. And I can prove it. But first, you have to understand the idiomatic expression, variation of a thing, which means, in short, something that happened in the past happens again, but not in a not so obvious way. So, it's kind of hard to see it. That's variation of a thing. So, having said that, Trump is blowing up boats of which he claims are drug smugglers. Straight up murdering them, blowing them up, without due process or anything. He just says so. Does that sound familiar? Do you remember the definition of lynching? Lynching is to put a person to death by mob action without legal authority or due process. And the deaths can be by hanging, burning, torturing, or shooting. Now, Trump shot boats out the water without due process. He lynched them. He shot them. He lynched them. That's a modern day lynching. Now, if you don't believe me, let me show you something here. Okay, here's the boat. I even see people in the boat. Boom! Killed them. Murdered them. Because he says they're carrying dope. Just look at that. That is absolutely crazy. And like I said, we are the many now. We're the many. Because we sit here on the news and watch Trump blowing up boats. What have you done about it? What have you done? No, I'm not talking about everybody else that's protesting or whatever. What have you done about it? That's my point. That's my point. And the reason most people haven't done anything about it, because Trump appealed to their emotions. Just like in the George Meadows lynching, they appealed to the many's emotions. Now, Trump is appealing to the many's emotions. Look what he says. Boy, is Trump inside of my computer? I can't move. Okay. Okay, it says, as of Wednesday, President Donald Trump had ordered 14 military attacks on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean and off the Pacific coast of Colombia, killing a total of 61 people. But according to Trump, each of those strikes prevented 25,000 drug overdose deaths, meaning he has saved 350,000 lives so far by summarily executing smuggling. Now, one thing about history, if you run into a word that you don't understand, immediately look it up so you will get a full understanding of what somebody's trying to say. Like this word summarily means immediate and without process or formality. So that's another way of saying his word. Okay, now this was somebody else saying what Trump said. Now, this is what Trump said. Every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. Trump averred during an Oval Office press conference a couple of weeks ago. Okay, averred. What does averred mean? It means to declare. Okay, so he's still declaring and supposing and all that. Okay, now it says every boat is saving 25,000 lives. The boat get hit and you see that fentanyl all over the ocean. Okay, so now you got drug overdose and you got fentanyl. You know there's a major fentanyl epidemic going on in these United States right now. I'm quite sure you know somebody have died of fentanyl, or maybe your loved one have died of fentanyl or something like that. But that's how it's appealing to your emotion. It's the same thing with the Georgia Meadows lynching. Black man rapes a white woman and kills her son. Huh? Where is he at? I'll kill him. What are he doing? What are he doing? He ain't got no business. That's the same thing we're saying now. That's what they get, bringing all that dope and stuff over here. They need to get blowed up. That's good for them. And I done heard similar talk from blacks, whites, Mexicans, and Asians. So like I said, we are the many. We're the many. Okay, so I just want to say one more thing. Well, not say, I want to show you one more thing before I go. Okay. Give me a second here. Like I say, I'm not no whiz at these. Okay. This is us now, the many. Just imagine, blacks, white, Mexicans, Orientals, Asians, everybody in the United States. That's us right there. up here hanging on these ropes, these are Venezuelans that he just blew the boat up. The same thing. It's the same thing. The same thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that things are not going to change. I'm just saying it ain't going to change today. Okay, so having said that, so you can get one of these t-shirts of George Meadows to remind you of that. And hopefully one day things will change. But like I said, not today. So if you want one of these t-shirts, email me at kirkbrown531@gmail.com. That's kirkbrown531@gmail.com. See you next post.